Hi guys! Have you ever had days or even weeks where everything seems to go wrong during your practice? You either lack motivation, or it's hard to focus, or your hands and fingers are simply not listening to you, or you can't seem to make much progress even after hours of practice. I'm sure you have, especially if you've been playing piano for more than a couple of months. We all have such days, and that's what I want to talk to you about in today's video. The fact that in learning any art, progress is not a straight line that goes up smoothly and steadily. Instead, it's more like a zigzag that has plenty of ups and downs, plateaus followed by sudden breakthroughs, and it's the power of your perseverance that will safely carry you through all of them and help you to succeed. The good news is that everything becomes easier once you understand how things work and you see the bigger picture, and this is what we will learn to do today. A musician's journey can be compared to a roller coaster. Some days are quite magical. We feel inspired and full of energy. Our productivity is off the charts. Our mind, hearing, and fingers work in perfect sync. If only we could bottle that feeling, right? On other days, everything seems upside down. And the funny thing is that we're not doing anything differently. So how come the same practice routine has such unexpected results sometimes? Why even the most consistent and serious practice is not always 100% productive? Nobody knows all the answers to these questions, even though there are some very interesting theories, and I'll mention a few of them at the end of this video. For now though, you have to understand that this up and down pattern is normal, and that you are not alone when you feel down and you're afraid that you'll never make any real progress. And once you know that this is how things work, this is how we learn, you will not waste energy fighting these oscillations or blaming yourself each time a deeper valley appears in your path. Instead, you'll accept it, you'll make the most of the landscape and enjoy the ride, even on the days when the road is a bit bumpy or the climb is a bit tougher than usual. It's the hard days, those deeper valleys, that will really test your commitment to the instrument. On those inevitable days when you can't seem to do anything right, you may be tempted to give it all up. Watching TV, checking email or social media, anything will feel more tempting than practicing the piano. But while short breaks are good, as I explained in my video tutorial when to take a break in your practice, never let a few bad days destroy your love for piano playing or make you give up on your dreams. Remember that musical progress is not linear, and that uninspired days will follow those productive days, just like night comes after day. Have you ever looked at one of those huge paintings in a museum, the ones that cover an entire wall? If you get really close, you will notice a lot of details. A hand, a foot, a cloud, an ornament on the wall. However, once you take a few steps back, all those little details fall into place and form the bigger picture. And suddenly everything makes sense. The same can be said about our piano progress. On the days when your productivity is on the floor, your usual thought is that you're going backwards instead of progressing, that all your previous efforts were in vain. And in that moment, the chasm may feel final and insurmountable. But if you take a few steps back and you look at the bigger picture of your progress, you will see that despite all the little ups and downs, you do keep going up all the time. And if you zoom out even more, those deep chasms are not so big and scary anymore, are they? The more we learn to see things in perspective, the broader our view, the smaller those valleys seem. Now, the knowledge that this pattern is normal is very important, but it will only be helpful if you combine it with perseverance. Regardless of your current level and knowledge, whether you aspire to become a concert pianist or simply learn how to play Furilis for your friends, perseverance is that crucial quality that will make you succeed. What is perseverance? Simply put, it's the determination to keep going. It's the willpower to continue your journey, even on those days when the sun is hidden behind thick clouds and you doubt that you'll ever be able to see it again. If you make a commitment to perseverance, if you get up even after you fall 1 time, 7 times, 70 times, if you keep making little steps forward on a regular basis, I promise you, results and transformation are inevitable, because even the hardest rock will give in if you keep dripping water on it every day. This is not just about believing in yourself or having faith that things will turn out okay. Yes, belief is important, but what I'm telling you right now is just knowledge. It's something certain that will work if you keep at it. It's a fact of life that has been confirmed by the experience of hundreds of musicians, actors, painters, athletes, and basically any successful person out there. Speaking about training, I love to train, it's one of my biggest passions, and I often make training metaphors in many of my videos. If you go to the gym and you take a look at the people around you, you will notice that there are those who train for a month or two and then they stop showing up because they didn't think it would be so hard and they were hoping for faster results. And the first disappointment made them think that transformation is impossible in their case, so they simply quit. However, if you look at those people who are strong, flexible, and have a very athletic body, then guess what? They've been doing it for years, rain, hail, or shine. They had disappointments too. They had injuries like most of us. They're also very busy people. Occasionally they get sick. They have jobs and families, and sometimes they simply feel completely unmotivated. But they keep showing up. They keep training, and the results always appear. Yes, for some of us it's sooner than for others, but they do appear. We've talked about the fact that it's normal to have good days and bad days on your journey to becoming a better pianist. But please notice that even on this graph, besides the spiky ups and downs, we also have periods of time, which can last for weeks and sometimes even months, when we seem to be stuck on the same level no matter what we do. These portions of even and yet very boring road are called plateaus. And if you ever experienced one, you know that they can be even more depressing than a really bad day. Plateaus test our patience big time. We keep practicing, we keep trying, we apply all the tricks in the book. We focus, we use all our knowledge, and we do make some progress. We do learn the pieces we're working on, but our overall skills seem to be frozen on the same level. Well, I have some more good news. This is entirely normal as well. Have you ever heard of the idea of quantity being transformed into quality? Let me explain what it means. When you are in a plateau, it may seem to you that nothing significant is happening, but this is not true. A plateau is a period of accumulation. Your conscious and subconscious mind, your hearing, your musical sensitivity, and also your muscle memory and your entire technical apparatus are absorbing and accumulating everything you're giving them until they reach that critical level when all this quantity, all this work, all this perseverance is transformed into quality. This means that one day you'll start practicing and you'll notice that you can suddenly do things that you couldn't do yesterday, that you play more expressively, that the piece suddenly makes sense, that you have a better technique, and on the graph of your progress, a big spike will appear. Without this knowledge, you might think that these breakthroughs to a new level are random and just happen on their own, but the truth is that they're the natural result of all the work you put in during the plateau and also during the bad days. An important warning though, this does not mean that a certain quantity of incorrect mechanical practice will suddenly transform into quality. Certainly not. As I explained in my tutorial dedicated to the key principles of correct piano practice, only quality work can lead to great results, and how we practice is always more important than how much we practice. This being said, of course, if you work in a focused and thorough manner for a certain amount of time, keeping in mind those golden principles of an efficient piano practice that I share in many of my tutorials, this will take you to a new level. And now I will share a few thoughts about the reasons behind this irregular pattern of our learning journey. I'll begin with something that, in my opinion, is more than a theory and has been known for thousands of years. It's the fact that everything in this universe goes through cycles. Day and night, wakefulness and sleep, light and darkness, life and death are just little examples of these cycles. And we also have bigger examples, such as what happens with the planets, suns, and galaxies. Similarly, our energy levels, our ability to focus and learn, our inspiration and motivation go through cycles as well, having a wavy pattern. When the wave goes up, we feel good and full of energy, and it's easier for us to accomplish everything we have in mind. When the wave goes down, we feel drained and things seem to be falling out of our hands. What I learned is that these depressions are necessary because that's when we accumulate that energy that will fuel the spikes to come. If we fight them and we push ourselves past our limits when our mind and body feel exhausted, then we only delay the appearance of the next positive phase, and we can also affect our health, which delays our journey even more. So pay more attention to the signals of your mind and body. And don't forget that what you perceive as a bad day might simply be your brain's desperate need for recovery. So embrace it and respect it, and it will pass much quicker. Plus, as I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the plateaus, learning happens in cycles as well. And our mind and muscle memory need time for new things to really settle in and become habits and skills. So again, don't be hard on yourself and allow your learning to progress at its natural pace. Another cause of this zigzag pattern is the fact that we usually see only what happens on the surface, and we rarely stop to analyze all the little things that happen on a deeper level. The truth is that there are many other variables that affect our productivity besides the obvious ones. For example, if an unresolved personal or financial problem is eating at your subconscious mind, it will affect your ability to focus and therefore your piano productivity. If you didn't have enough sleep, if you ate too much or not enough, if you didn't exercise for several days, if you had a fight with your spouse, if someone was rude to you at work, all these factors will affect the way we feel, the way we learn, and this is entirely okay. So be aware that all these background programs exist and influence you, but don't obsess about them, and accept that there will always be some things outside your control. And keep moving forward. Remember to keep things in perspective. The bad days do not define you, just like those awesome days when you feel like Superman do not define you either. So don't get arrogant and don't get depressed. Just persevere. Try to sail through the bad days with a glass half full mentality, knowing that everything is temporary and that better days are just around the corner. My name is Ilinka Vartik. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to discover more mental secrets that can light a fire under your piano bench, so to speak, join my piano coaching program at pianocareeracademy.com by clicking on the link in the description box below, and have instant access to many hundreds of detailed tutorials that will take your playing to a whole new level of mastery. Enjoy the journey, and I'll see you soon. Bye!